If you've been looking for a great deal in the greater Phoenix area, you can't help but be drawn to Santan Valley. That is going to be in the most north part of Pinal County in Arizona. So it's an extension of the southeast valley of the greater Phoenix area. But with lower price homes, something's got to give. So let's cover what those top 10 things are that you should be paying attention to when considering buying a home in Santan Valley. Let's start with number one, with what's going on in general with housing. And that is, we are seeing an overpopulation in Santan Valley, not going to lie. And what is coming up is even more high density buildings. What do I mean by that? I mean apartment complexes. And we also are going to have a lot more build to rent type of properties. What exactly are build to rent? They're like small single family homes that don't really have a backyard. It's kind of like a little patio home, if you would. If you ask me, they'd be a great thing to sell. But for now, they're only rentals. So we already have a very large rental community in Santan Valley because just that, housing is affordable. And over the last couple of years, when we saw Wall Street jump into the game, this is where they really gravitated to. So you're looking at a very, very large percentage of renters in this part of the valley, which I have to say it's higher than normal. And so you're going to see a lot more people moving around. They tend to move around a lot more, which is why they're renting instead of buying in some cases. Needless to say, be aware the population is already at 100,000. They're still not an official city. 100,000 people, no freeways, and it's only going to get busier. Number two, let's talk about schools. So when we have a large percentage of families, whether you're owning a home or renting down here because it's more affordable, you definitely want to pay attention to what's going on in schools. Now, it depends on which school you're going to, and it depends on whether or not you have the ability to drive your child to another school that works best for you. What do I mean by that? Arizona has an open enrollment policy. You can enroll your child in any school, not even in the same city. So that's where I'm kind of going. I have found that most people where education is super important and someone in the household has the ability to drive their children to another school, they're going outside of Santan Valley, or they're going to some of the charter schools or even private schools in this area. Santan Valley overall doesn't have a real good rating in their schools. They should be emphasizing that probably more so than they have. That's Pinal County. It's a little bit different than Maricopa County. And again, what we're seeing is a lot of private businesses going into that education industry. And so we are going to see a few more schools open up in the Santan Valley area, but I would highly recommend that you do your research on the schools nearby or within close proximity. It's not unheard of for the children of Santan Valley to go to school in either Queen Creek or Gilbert, where there are some top-rated schools. Number three, shopping and dining. I'll tell you, this is the number one complaint I get from absolutely everyone that lives in Santan Valley. Shopping is minimal. Shopping is going to be limited to Home Depot, Walmart, and some smaller little tiny shops. Like there's a smoke shop, and then there's a gym that you can buy some gym things and, little things like that. Of course, the grocery stores down here, there's several Fry's that are ginormous, and they have a huge shopping center part of their grocery store also. But I'm telling you, if you're even looking for a Target, let alone anything else, you are going to be driving up to Queen Creek. Now, depending on where you live in Santan Valley, it may or may not be that much of a jaunt for you. Again, most of the people that we've actually placed in the Santan Valley area kind of go in two different buckets, are going to be retirees and people that are looking for newer homes on larger property with RV garages. I'm talking amazing. We'll get into the housing at the very end here, so don't go anywhere because we're going to talk about all these things if you can overcome what you can get in Santan Valley. But the shopping and dining is really a hindrance for everyone. For the most part, you have everything you need. You have an auto store. You can get your tires rotated. You can get oil changes. You can get physical therapy done down here. You can have your teeth cleaned. You can have your hair done. But if you're looking for shopping, you're going to be going into town, and you're probably talking at least a 30-minute drive, depending on where you're coming from. Let me tell you guys, before you move to any city, whether it's in Phoenix area or anyways, go on Facebook and type in the name of the city. So like here, put Santan Valley and look for all the different groups. If that's what you are thinking about doing, is moving to an area, join these groups. And you can watch the banter from the local citizens telling you what they like, what they don't like, and about all the snakes they find in their home. I'm just kidding. Or maybe the owl that's been perched on the top of their roof for the last couple of days. It's very interesting seeing this. Let me tell you, I belong to a ton of groups, and it's amazing watching. And the number one, shopping. Everyone's complaining about shopping. Well, I guess that would be traffic shopping because you have to drive to get there. And dining. There are no nice restaurants in Santan Valley. If you want to take your lovely one out to dinner for a date night, you're going to either be enjoying things like a couple of bar and grills, but they're not really bars. They're restaurants that happen to serve beer and wine. Or you're going to go to Santan Flats, which I have to tell you, that place has been around forever. Oh my God, it's one of my favorite. I would go there any day of the week. It is super duper fun. Total country setting. It's got amazing things to look at on the inside. The steaks are served on a tin plate, whatever it's called. You know, like everybody's walking in their Spurs. I'm just kidding. They're not wearing Spurs. But they have real life music outdoors in the evenings. They have fires going in the big pails. You sit outside. I'm telling you, it's a blast. Whether you're on a motorcycle, your horse, or you're just right in with your 4Runner and the kids. I'm telling you, Santan Flats, you've got to go there. But that's almost in Queen Creek. I love all the little mom and pop shops on the side of the roads everywhere. You can get fresh shrimp brought up from Puerto Peñasco, which is Rocky Point, which is Mexico, which, yeah, you're a little bit closer to the border, but we don't have as many border issues in this area as we do on the other side of Interstate 10, like, for instance, Casa Grande and such. But if you're concerned about it, got to bring it up. The other thing is, again, like there's a plant lady there that she like clips all her plants and she sells the little offspring for like $10. Like there's all kinds of these cute little mom and pop shops out there because it's like this little town that's kind of filling in the gaps where the big guys haven't come in yet. Number 4, let's go straight to entertainment. It kind of, I don't know, entertainment is a lot of different things to different people. If you're looking for outdoor trails, the Santan Valley has a lot to offer. If you like open space and you like to fly a kite.
Go fly a kite.
If you like to take maybe your dirt bike out in the middle of the desert, there's a lot of that kind of personal entertainment out this way. Horseback riding, movie theaters, not so much. You're going to have to go into, guess what I'm about to say? Into town, into Queen Creek. If you're looking for movies, if you're looking for kids things for them to do, indoors a lot, again, up in Queen Creek, there's a lot of indoor things up there for them to do in the summertime. Many of the communities in Santan Valley do not have swimming pools. So if you do not have a home with a swimming pool, if you don't get one or you're not planning to get one, try and look for a community that has a community pool because there's not really a public pool. Santan Valley, you're kind of on your own. But, here's another great thing, though. If you like going on your buggy or your side-by-side or your rail, this is a really fun town to cruise around in. I know that sounds really silly. Even on the pavement, there's a couple of golf courses in the Santan Valley area. Entertainment is kind of slim pickings. Again, shooting up to Queen Creek, there's Schnepp Farms and the Olive Mill, but that's in Queen Creek. So as you can see here, I'm already at number 4, all I'm talking about is Queen Creek, but you live in Santan Valley. So let me just emphasize again, the number 1 driver, the one positive thing about Santan Valley is what? Affordable housing. You're going to be giving up a lot of other things in order to, you want that newer home, the cheaper home. There's negatives with that. So I want everybody to be aware of that. Let me tell you, all the clients that we have placed in the Santan Valley area absolutely love it because we've matched the right needs, wants with this area. They had the right expectation going in. That's all we want to make sure that you are aware of. Let's talk about number 5. That's going to be jobs. Jobs, again, there's not a lot of big companies coming out here, and there won't be. And let me tell you why, because there's no freeway, and there will be no freeway. There is a talk of an extension from way up north at Interstate 60 to head straight down south. If they get that proposal on the books to start talking about it, it's going to be at least over 10 years away. There's a lot of due process in order to build a freeway. And although Arizona Department of Transportation, ADOT, I think is very forward thinking, and they are very aggressive with widening roads, adding freeways, especially as our population grows. It takes time. And this proposed freeway that they would put in is going through a combination of state-owned property and private property. So there's a lot in the mix. So if anyone, especially a new home builder, tells you that a new freeway is going by, liar. Don't listen to them. I'm telling you, it's over 10 years away. Nobody wants to buy a house today because there's going to be a freeway in 15 years, right?
Nah, I'm good.
Being that there's not a lot of access for employers to hire from a talent pool for their people to get in and out, depending on if they're a freight or a distribution or whatever, they don't have freeway access. They don't have rail access. They don't have an airport access. Those are all the crucial parts of having a company select your part of town. So right now, when I'm shooting this video, there is a significant amount of jobs. Guess what? Queen Creek, Gilbert, Chandler, we are starting to see more and more down in Pinal County, kind of down in Florence and Coolidge. But I'll tell you, those aren't high-paying jobs, and they're very specific industries. Point being is that the jobs are nominal. There's about 500,000 jobs within a 45-minute commute in Santan Valley. And the reason I'm emphasizing that 45 is because Maricopa County, they, in their commute sheds, they measure 30 minutes. And in Pinal County, because everything is more spread out, their commute sheds are 45. Even if it's like farm road driving, I don't want to drive 45 minutes to work. And that's what just the commute shed that I'm talking about. So with a 45-minute drive, there is 500,000. Sheryl, do your math.
You can do it!
500,000 jobs. But more than 25% of those jobs are going to be in retail and general services. General services like hair, food industry, auto mechanic, etc. Number 6, do I have any good news for you? Well, here's one. Healthcare. At least there is a full-service hospital in Santan Valley. It's actually right outside of a community called Encantera. And Encantera is an amazing adult 55, super pricey, expensive area. And so with that high demand of more senior residents, they built an amazing hospital. But here's the thing. If you're not in that hospital group for your insurance, guess what? You're going to have to go up to town. There's a lot of little urgent centers. There's also, I don't even know the name of it, like the quick nurse thingy and Walgreens, and you can get your flu shot and things like that. And like I said, there's dentists down here, there's physical therapists, there's all those type of smaller type of services. But if you need hospitalization, you're going to either be going over to the Banner system over by Encantera, or you're going to be going up to Queen Creek or Gilbert. All right, let's talk about water. That's a really big conversation, especially for Santan Valley. It's not a matter of if there is plenty of water, because honestly, Santan Valley and just south of here, Florence, Coolidge was and is mostly agriculture. They have so many water certificates for this part of Arizona. What that means is there is an abundance of water sources here because of the farming that has been here for literally decades, even probably 100 years. There is still a lot of farming out this way. There's even solar farms. It was actually pretty cool checking it out. As they convert the agricultural land to housing, you actually use less water. So there's no water supply issue for Santan Valley, but there are water issues you need to be aware of. The first and foremost is the quality of water in Santan Valley is significantly lower than, let's say it, Queen Creek. So it is recommended that you either have bottled water or you have some kind of filtration system in your home. And I don't necessarily mean a soft water. That is a positive and a plus, and you'd be surprised. People are shocked that not every house has one of these, whether it be in Santan Valley or the greater Phoenix area, because Arizona as a whole has very hard water. But the quality, the drinking quality and the taste in Santan Valley is actually rated somewhat lower than everywhere else in the greater Phoenix area. The other part of the water that I want you to be aware of, there's been just a lot of problems with the water company that services Santan Valley. It used to be called Johnson Utilities, and there was major lawsuits, and now I think it's called EPCOR that owns it. At least it starts with EP. Anyways, they have it, and they're starting to get things kind of back into shape. But again, one of the things I would really, caution you in Santan Valley is, again, if we go back 20 years ago, it was all agricultural. And so turning into this city, it's still not incorporated yet. It's still considered a town. They're growing so fast population-wise. A lot of these other things that you expect from cities like Chandler and Gilbert and Queen Creek, all the other cities in the Southeast Valley, those have been real cities. This was farmland. So they're kind of playing catch up on a lot of things. In the meantime, there's literally 100,000 people that have moved in. And now with more high density housing in this area, I think the population is just really overwhelming all the services. So if you're worried about water supply, not an issue. If you're worried about water quality, you're going to want to pay attention to it and make the necessary steps, which may cost you more money. And let's talk about that. Let's roll right into the next one. Number 8, let's talk about the cost. So if you're saving on your housing and you're spending all this other money on other costs, is it really cheaper to live there? And this is exactly why I tell people you can't just look at a house price and assume it's cheaper to live there. And this is consistent whether you're comparing Phoenix to Dallas. You have to look at the totality of what it costs, and it's not just about the house price. So we talked about the water already, right? We've mentioned the traffic, and you're going to be driving. You're going to be spending a lot of time on the roads, folks. You're going to be spending more money on gas. Your insurance is going to be a tad bit higher because you're in a more rural area. You're also going to be spending more money on windshields. Make sure you get your free glass coverage or whatever it's called, broken glass, chipped glass. My truck is only 3 months old and I already got a crack right across through my windshield. Sucks. You're going to go because you have a lot more sand and dirt. Homeowners insurance is also a little bit more expensive out here than the greater Phoenix area because it's more remote. And when you talk about the haboobs and when you talk about the monsoons, they are heavier out here. In fact, it's very common when you see monsoons that you're going to see trampolines floating up in the air. So again, there's a little bit of things that you need to prepare out this way. We're also going to have a slightly higher property tax. Now, mind you, if you're comparing Arizona to California or Arizona to Illinois or Texas or whatever, Arizona is really cheap. But when you're comparing it to the greater Phoenix area, it's higher in Pinal County than it is in Maricopa County. So guess what? If you have a Queen Creek address and you pay Queen Creek taxes, it's going to be less money than in Pinal County. So all these little incremental costs are going to maybe offset that cheaper housing for you. So this is the conversations we have to have with you, and we have to talk about what you're looking for. And don't just tell me cheap housing because it's a bigger picture than that, right? Which kind of leads me to number 9, which is lifestyle. This is the part we really want to talk about. Look, I come from the Bay Area, and I was lucky that I only had a 45-minute commute each way to work. So let me tell you, spending time on the road, it just seemed like the norm for me. And like I said, 45 minutes was nothing in the Bay Area. But when I got to work, I was already exhausted because I had to go drop the kids off the daycare, and then I had to get on the freeway, and then the stress on the freeway, and then you get to work, and then it was the hustle and bustle, and the same thing in reverse. And when you get home, gosh, all that stress, and now you got to cook dinner. Well, of course, I'm giving you it from my perspective, but now you got to cook dinner and then get the kids, homework. And I had no me time. I had no familia time. And I'll tell you, when I moved to the greater Phoenix area and to live within a 15, 20-minute drive to work, all that extra time, and the lower stress, talk about a better quality of life. Whatever's important to you, I want to help navigate what part of the greater Phoenix area works for you, of course, within your budget. If Santan is what you're looking for because of the budget, then I can give you some other recommendations within that budget that might not be as remote. I love Santan Valley. I really do. And the people that I have helped move there absolutely love it, but you have to love it for what it is. If you live, work, and play in Santan Valley or close enough in Santan Valley, you're going to love Santan Valley. There is a small town charm that I absolutely love it. This girl, I'm a little bit of a cowgirl. Don't tell anyone. Everybody thinks I'm a city girl. And I love to go riding. And let me tell you, if I'm wearing my boots and my Wranglers and I got my dog and I got my flannel on or whatever, you feel right at home in Santan Valley. If you have any type of horsemanship, equestrian love, if you love that, if you are an Aggie or you want to have farm pets or you want to have an acre, this is the town you want to call home. All right, let's get to the nitty gritty about housing. Look, if you're thinking about new construction, especially, there are so many builders out here. We are talking literally 10 different builders and probably 20 different communities. I'm not kidding you. There's so many. And you know what? Here's the thing, guys. We have it in with a couple of the builders, and there's a new community that hasn't even opened up yet. It's going to have a community pool, and they're going to be starting in the mid-3s. You got to give us a call because they invited us in before they even open up. And let me tell you, when you want to get in early, that's the trick, guys. You want to get in on the pre-selling or right off the first phase, because guess what? The builders only go where? After that. So you're going to have to give us a call if you're talking about new construction. Do not ever go into a builder sales center without us, especially when I just told you about, again, the freeway. They're going to tell you there's a freeway coming in. It's not even in the foreseeable future. You got to give us a call. Now, resale, there's some great deals out there, you guys. Let me tell you. New construction's nice, but we can also go newer or we could go older. Some people really like those older homes because they have more of a Tuscan style, more of those Arizona-esque type of homes with the arches or the niches. And here's the best part. Pools are already in there and sometimes some very nice landscaping. All of that is extra money that over the years you're going to be putting into your home. There's a lot to be said also living closer in to, guess what? Queen Creek and Gilbert. So you can buy new construction home for the mid 300s and of course up. You can also buy resale in the low 300s if price is what's really driving you to be in Santan Valley. If you are thinking maybe you need a very large home and you want to get more bang for your buck, there's another reason you're going to be in Santan Valley. Let's say you want a 5-bedroom or a 6-bedroom home. There is a lot of choices in Santan Valley, and I have to tell you, the older homes have bigger lots. That's what you guys have all been asking for, big lots. If you want bigger lots, we also have made very good friends with several builders out here, small independent builders that you're not going to even find online all by yourself. I feel like we've almost built like neighborhoods. We have brought them buyers for every single house. These are amazing, beautiful farmhouse. Did I say that right? Farmhouse. And they also are single level, like over 2,000 square feet, sometimes between 2,500 and 2,700, 1-acre lots, RV garages, like absolutely gorgeous. So if you're thinking of wanting to be kind of more in that rural environment, we got your connections. You got to give us a call. Some of the most amazing desert views, the mountain views. I'm telling you, you got roadrunners running through your property. You got, some of the other critters, but that's also the pleasure of living out here. And you know what? You can do whatever you want. This is gun loving. This is about, like I said, 60% Republicans that live out here. So if you're looking for that no HOA and the freedom to fly whatever flag you want, this is the town you want to call home. And I forgot to tell you, you guys should subscribe to my channel. I never know how to ask for this, and I don't know if I should do it at the end of the video or in the middle of the video or pop up. I feel awkward. I feel like I don't know. Yeah, it just feels funny. Like me? please? I have a freaking phone call. That's funny. We should have recorded that. Like, more information. Oh, shoot, Cheryl, stop. I'm done. Get out of here, Sheryl. Bye.